All right, Matt, the mortgage guy. In today's video, I'm going to jump into the forecast by Fannie Mae of what's going on in 2023 when it comes to housing starts, when it comes to total number of home sales, when it comes to mortgage interest rates. Stay tuned because I'm going to tell you their crazy projection of 4.4% mortgage interest rates, what I think about that, why some people think we're going to be at 7 or 8%, and where you might have to plan for the future when it comes to your mortgage and your future home buying. Stay tuned. I'm going to jump into it in this video. All right, Matt, the mortgage guy, residential mortgage broker. That means 1 to 4 unit mortgages. If you're looking to get one of those, whether it's a purchase or refinance, feel free to reach out to me and my team, greatmortgagebroker.com. More than happy to help. If you're looking to connect with a great agent in your area, go to homeandmoney.com/Matt. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about Fannie Mae's housing forecast for 2023. A lot of interesting stuff in here. As a lot of folks probably know, as interest rates have increased, housing demand has slowed down. There's less homes selling. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. When you actually look at the numbers, not just the numbers that we have Q4 and Q3 of 2022, but the forecasts even farther out, into 2023, a big drop off in the number of homes that are selling, right? And I'll show you in these numbers, the 30, 40% drop off from 7.1 million homes down to 4.9 million projected home sales in 2023. What that means for you as a buyer, what it means for you as a seller, the forecast for mortgage interest rates. Even since Fannie Mae has released this, there's been a lot of shakeup. Jay Powell and the stuff that he said and the rest of the Fed has said about their strategy going forward. In this video, I'm going to jump into it, let you know my thoughts, what things you can do to protect yourself, whether you're a buyer or a seller. So let's start first off with the stats, right? With the forecasts. And I'll share this in the notes so you can see it for yourself. If it's hard to read here, then pull this up yourself and check out this housing forecast. It's all public information released by Fannie Mae. I believe this thing came out August 10th, right? So this thing's been out for a few weeks. And they're projecting in 2023 total housing starts, total home sales, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and then also like how many mortgages are being written, both purchase and refinance. All these are really interesting numbers to look at. One thing I think when it comes to the amount of supply out there, you can see total housing starts projected to go down quite a bit. This is strategic by builders, right? They're seeing a drop in demand, and rather than continue to build at the level they're building at and have too much supply, they're just going to stop building. I've seen this. I've heard this. They're putting the hammer down. They're going to try to sell the inventory they have, and they have to give, concessions and credit to buy down the rate and extra, upgrades in the house, whatever they got to do, keep the sales price the same. Another way they're able to pull levers and not have to reduce prices by having a glut of inventory is to stop building. So they're doing it for sure. You can see, Q4, 1.3 million, Q1 and Q2 of 23, 1.2 million, down from, 1.7, 1.6 million early in 2022. So that's on the total housing starts, right? They project that to be down 15% in 2023. Total home sales is something that's really interesting to look at. Hopefully this is, legible on the video. If not, this is the line I'm looking at, and you can pull up this sheet for yourself. Back in 2021, 7.1 million. Then in 2022, another huge number of total home sales, 6.8 million. As interest rates go up, affordability becomes an issue and there's less demand. This number projected to go down to 4.9 million. I've talked to some people that think it might be as low as 4.5 or 4.4 million, a big decrease from the highs we saw in total home sales. Keep in mind, total home sales coming down doesn't mean prices coming down. Later in the video, I'll get, my prediction on what prices are going to do in 2023, but make sure you don't confuse those two things. We might be 30 to 40% down in total home sales, not 30 to 40% down in home prices. All right, mortgage channel. So you guys for sure want me to talk about mortgage, where the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is going to be. What I might do is take myself out of this, right? Maybe we'll just do this. Maybe that makes it a little bit easier to see. Down here, we've got the projections for the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. This has got to change in the next report. I am going to guarantee it, right? Because Jerome Powell spoke last Friday at Jackson Hole. He talked about, future plans. I've even got notes here where we'll keep at it until we're confident the job is done, talking about combating inflation and the unfortunate cost of reducing inflation, but they have to restore price stability, right? And for some time, in quotations, is another note I have here, right? So they are going to continue to push interest rates up. With this news, we've seen mortgage rates rise, and this is just a quick snapshot of, let's call it early August when we got down to the 5% to the last day of August, the day I'm recording this, 5.96. Rates have gone up since. We got an alert to lock this morning. The 10-year treasuries at 3.17. No doubt this is going to be above 6% come September 1st. Come tomorrow when this video is released, I'll bet $1 and a hole in a donut that this 5.96 trickles up 6.05, 6.1. Remember, Mortgage News Daily is a great place to get a rough idea. This is a nationwide average. You're working with a mortgage broker, you're likely lower. You're working with, a bank or some retail operation with higher margins, you might be higher. Also depends on your down payment, your credit score, whether it's primary or investment, all these other things. But this is, primary residence, 30-year fixed rate mortgage, well-qualified clients, an average for the nation. So long-winded way of saying, yeah, pretty good average here. I think 5.96 for today. I was locking folks in at 5.5. So on the broker side, we'll be a little better. I won't pound that too much. But back to their estimates, right? 4.7, 4.5 down to 4.4 by Q3 and Q4 of 2023. Out of their mind, Fannie Mae. But I'll give them this. This was from August 10th, so it was 3 weeks ago. They're going to revise this. Our boy Jay Powell spoke at Jackson Hole. All the stuff that he's, talking big talk around raising interest rates to curb inflation, no matter how long it takes. They're going to keep their foot on that, gas pedal to curb inflation. That is going to cause interest rates to increase. Some people think 7, 8% is in our future as soon as Q4 of this year. I don't think it goes that high, but no doubt it goes higher to where this Q4 number should probably have a 6 handle in front of it. And then 2023, my personal prediction is we're going to, have the Fed, once they've, put a halt to demand, once they've curbed inflation, if not a pivot, in my opinion, a pump of the brakes that allows rates to settle. And I don't think it's in the 7s, 8s range. I think it's closer to 6, but I've been proven wrong before. Last thing I want to talk about, I don't want to be too long-winded in this video, is these numbers down here for total mortgage originations. You want to talk about pain in the mortgage industry, in the mortgage market, for companies, for loan officers, for everybody. 1.2 trillion, because now this metric is in billions down here. 1.2 trillion in 2021 goes down to 739 billion in 2022. And we're talking like Q1, right? So this is year over year. That's like, how big of a decline is that? 1.2 to 739, quick math, 40%, down to 431 Q1 of 2023, total originations. And I'll show you why. Purchase stuff, is not hit as hard. But when you go from 871 billion in a quarter in refinance volume to 100 billion, 147 billion, 132 billion, that is an 80% decline in refinance. I think 86% was the number. So total originations from 2021 to 2022, almost a 50% decline in total originations. 50% less business for mortgage companies, for mortgage loan originators. If you're not an originator that's focused on purchase, you probably don't have a job in 2023. If you're a mortgage company that does all refinance and you're a call center model that adds no value, can't close purchases in an efficient manner, and doesn't have thin enough margins to compete, you're probably out of business in 2023. Just the unfortunate nature of the business, with transactions in home sales going down from 7.1 million down to 4.9 million. That's a lot of realtors that are out of business. If you skated through 20 and 21 and you're able to survive as a mediocre realtor, maybe even worked it part-time, 2023 ain't your year. So bunch of information there. Let me know your thoughts, what you think about the housing market, total home sales in 2022, the fourth quarter, 2023, as to mortgage interest rates. I'm sorry, rates I already told you, 5.5% to 6% for an average for 2023, because I think we are going to retrace and come back a little bit. It's a higher end point than I might have said pre J Powell talk, but also people are asking what prices are going to do. Looked at a lot of different things, talked to a lot of different people. Transactions going down and interest rates going up, and where we've got inventory going, it's a big mixed bag. I think home prices have a little bit of room to correct and come down. In some of the hottest markets, maybe 10 or 15%. In some other markets, you might actually see home price appreciation, albeit 0 to 5%. Overall, nationwide, I'm putting my chip on 0 to 10% in the negative right there, right? So relatively flat is what I would bet on. Close. I would bet that we're close to 0 home price appreciation for the year of 2023. That's my current prediction. I reserve the right to change that. Again, greatmortgagebroker.com if you want to connect with me and my team, homeandmoney.com/Matt if you want to connect with a great agent in your area. Let me know your thoughts. Agree, disagree. I'd love to hear it. Good, healthy conversation in the comments. Always welcome. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.